over tax reform bills. At the business, Naira on the bullish train as dollar supply falls. At the first stage, Ukraine strikes Russia with the US supplied long-range missiles. Super Eagles forward Ademola Lookman goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali make her final list. Sports. Hello and welcome to News Prime, here on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Edikan Michael. A reminder that we are on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nicomsat Star Times channel 276. We begin tonight by informing that members of the House of Representatives from the northern part of the country have raised fresh concerns over the 4 tax reform bills currently under consideration in the National Assembly. They spoke at an interactive session organized by the House of Representatives with the members of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms. The bills, particularly the proposed amendment to the distribution of value-added tax VAT revenue, have sparked widespread debate. The Nigeria Tax Bill 2024, which is expected to provide the fiscal framework for taxation in the country, and the Tax Administration Bill, which will provide a clear and concise legal framework for all taxes in the country and reduce dispute. The maiden edition of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund's National Research Fair and exhibition holding at the Eagle Square in Abuja has brought together innovators from around the country, showcasing different inventions. The exhibition is aimed at bridging the gap between research, innovation, and the market. Ramson Okebo, who has been following these events, now has a report.
Right here, we are live at the Eagle Square in Abuja, where the maiden edition of the National Research and Exhibition Fair is happening.
This is multi-air cyclone system for kaolin beneficiation. Kaolin is a solid mineral abundant in almost every state in this country. But it is very useful in the production of paints. It is used in the production of rubber, used in production of rubber making, in plastic, and in ceramic materials.
This machine here is called movable Bambara nut shelling and cleaning machine. It's a sheller. And this project came as a result of the wastages we encountered. Most farmers produce this Bambara nut, but because of the tediousness of the processing, sometimes it ended up wasted.
What we have here is our products, innovations from Delta State Polytechnic of Gwashuku. What you are seeing here now is what we call DSPG Smart Campus. It's actually a model, and it tends to solve problems of security on campus, revenue generation, power solutions.
Our vehicles are e-vehicles. They run on lithium batteries and they are rechargeable. This one can be charged either directly with electricity or you can charge it with the solar panel that it is carrying.
These are people from different universities, individuals that have come up with different ideas. Ramsey Enoch Agbo reporting for Global Television.
Many thanks to Ramson Enoch. And now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the restructuring of the State House Media and Communications team, designating the roles of Sunday Dare and Daniel Boala alongside Bayo Anonuga to serve as official spokespersons for his administration. The president recently announced the appointment of Sunday Dare, former Minister of Sports and Youth Development under former President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration, as the Presidential Special Advisor on Public Communication and National Orientation. Similarly, President Tinubu announced Daniel Boala, a former critic and spokesperson for his main opposition candidate Atiku Abubakar's campaign organization during the 2023 presidential elections, as a new addition to his communications team. And now to the Federal Capital Territory, as the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, has approved the immediate payment of 70,000 Naira new minimum wage for all the administration staff. And this was contained in a statement signed by the Press Secretary to the head of the Civil Service of the FCT, Anthony O'Day, and made available to journalists. President Bola Tinubu had signed the new minimum wage bill into law in May 2024 approving 70,000 naira for workers following the months of negotiation with organized labor. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has written to the National Assembly to seek the approval of a fresh $2.2 billion as a new external borrowing plan in the 2024 Appropriation Act. The President's request was contained in a letter read by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, during the plenary. If approved, the loan will be used to part finance the budget deficit of 9.7 trillion naira for the 2023-2024 budget. The President also forwarded the 2025 to 2027 medium-term expenditure framework and a fiscal strategy paper to the National Assembly for consideration and approval. Tinubu also sent the National Social Investment Program Establishment Amendment Bill to make the social register the primary tool of the implementation for the federal government's social welfare programs. Meanwhile, President Tinubu has sent the name of Ondo Resident Electoral Commission Faisimi Ibeyemi to the Senate for approval. He also submitted the names of two Federal Commissioner Tokor Abdurazak and Professor Sunday Aja. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio read the correspondence during the plenary session. The request has been referred to the Committee of the Independent National Electoral Commission, which is expected to review the nominations and report back promptly. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo has presented a 607 billion naira 2025 draft budget proposal to the State House of Assembly. Presenting the budget to the House, Soludo, who labeled the budget Changing the Gears 2.0 with an emphasis on acceleration and execution, said that it represents a 48% increase compared to the 2024 budget of 410 billion naira. He noted that the capital budget constituted 77% of the total budget size, while the recurring expenditure account for 23%, reflecting the same ratios as in the 2024 budget. He also noted that the budget deficit is estimated at 148.3 billion naira, which is 24% of the budget compared to 30% in the 2024 budget. The Edo State Governor Monday Babalo has commenced the construction of a flyover at Ramat Park, Benin, as part of immediate efforts to reduce the traffic congestion in the city. This was contained in a press statement by the governor's chief press secretary, Fred Itwa. He said, Babalo has assured the people that his administration will also construct two more flyover bridges at Dawson Road Junction and Sapele Road at Deswa Road Junction, and all in Benin City. Babalo said the Ramat Park is a gateway to Benin City and other parts of the country, and that the construction of the bridge will provide ease of life for motorists in the Benin City and commuters along the two corridors of the Benin Archie Expressway and the Benin Asaba Expressway. Our River State Governor Similare Fubara has promised to reconstruct the Creek Road Market in Old Port Harcourt Township into an ultra-modern facility that will afford the traders a conducive trading environment and give the city a new look. The governor explained that the decision stems from the commitment to achieve a wholesome implementation of the urban renewal policy of administration, which puts the people first. Fubara made the promise when he visited the market to see how trading activities take place within the entire Creek Road and adjoining the street. The Sultan of Sokoto, Sadi Mohammed Abubakar III, has countered the notion that traditional rulers are afraid of governors. The Sultan says traditional rulers were ruling the country even before the Nigerians got independence, adding that as monarchs they have more stake and understanding of the country than governors. He said that these are the stakeholders roundtable of Northern Nigerian Youth Development organized by Sir Ahmed Bello Memorial Foundation in Abuja. The former governor of Niger State, Babagana Aliyu, said traditional rulers are afraid of the governors. Now, the Borno State government, in collaboration with the United Nations Children's Fund, has unveiled the roadmap aimed at eradicating open defecation across the state's 27 local government areas. I was speaking during the unveiling of the initiative in Maduguri, the state's capital. Governor Babagana Zulum urged residents to embrace the campaign and support the effort to achieve an open defecation-free Borno. Borno Zulum, who was represented by his deputy Umar Kadafo, highlighted its administration's commitment to addressing the critical issues across sectors such as education, transportation, infrastructure, and health over the past 6 years. The Federal Road Safety Corps Marshal Malam Shehu has directed the immediate clampdown on the proliferation of fake diplomatic and other unauthorized number plates as seen on some vehicles plying Nigerian roads. Mohammed said these in a statement issued by the Core Public Education Officer Olusegun in Abuja. The FRC boss said that the directive had become necessary in line with his administration's proactive approach towards contributing to enhance national security. He said that identified number plates were fraudulently produced by suspected criminals as they were neither produced by any of the production plants of the FRSC in the country nor licensed or issued by the motor license authorities of the state. Watching the News Prime, Young Global Television coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When News Prime returns, President Tinubu sacks Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate powers. We'll bring details of these as well as foreign and sports stories right after this short break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us and now to business. The Naira has weakened by 2.31%, or 38.12 Naira on Monday at the National Autonomous Foreign Exchange Markets to 1,690.37 Naira to a dollar compared to 1,652.25 Naira to a dollar that it had closed the previous week. The data shows that the daily turnover stood at the $173.14 million, indicating a 42% decline from the $296.63 million on Friday. At the power markets, the Naira closed at 1,735 Naira to a dollar, strengthening from the 1,740 Naira in the previous trading session. The Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, Professor Charles Anosike, says the agency is positioned to climate-proof of the economy by providing timely weather and climate information. Professor Anosike spoke while welcoming participants at a one-day workshop on understanding the landscape of agro-meteorological data resources and processes for facilitating the climate-smart agricultural adoption. Professor Anosike says the workshop aims to help the participants understand the landscape of agro-meteorological advisories in Nigeria. The workshop allows critical stakeholders to map the climate information advisories that are critical to smallholder farmers and livestock keepers. President Bola Tinubu has relieved Dr. Chioma Ejikeme of her duties. This is coming 13 months after she was reappointed for another 4 years in the office as the Executive Secretary of the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate. In a statement by the head of the Corporate Communications Unit of Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, Olubenga Ajayi, the President announced that Tulope Odaniye has been appointed the new Executive Secretary of the Directorate. The statement noted that Odaniya officially assumed office on November 18, 2024 at the Directorate's headquarters, who succeeded Ejikeme, who served as the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate Executive Secretary from August 2019 to November 2024. Now, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has introduced stringent measures to further guide against passengers' delay luggage by airlines. The agency's statistics indicate that the Air France had the highest number of missing baggage, over 2,035 among foreign carriers flying into Nigeria. However, in compliance with the Nigerian Civil Aviation regulations, the regulatory agency is imposing fines of $170 and 10,000 naira on the foreign and local airlines, respectively, for delayed passengers' luggage as a phase measure. Additionally, the regulatory agencies say that such delayed luggage must be delivered to the affected passenger on international routes within the 21 days, while for the local flight, it might be delivered within the 7 days. And moving to other news, the federal government plans to allocate a significant portion of its budget of debt servicing between 2025 and 2027, outpacing the allocations for capital expenditure. This is based on the recently approved 2025-2027 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, which projects debt servicing costs at 50.39 trillion naira for the 3 years, surpassing the 48.93 trillion naira and marked for capital expenditures. the rise in debt servicing costs, which are expected to grow by 26.7% from the 15.38 trillion naira in 2025 to 19.49 trillion naira in 2027, pose concerns about fiscal sustainability. The Yola Electricity Distribution Company has announced the commencement of the deployment of 1,880 prepared meters to Band A customers under the Meter Asset Fund scheme. Of the initiative target, the Band A customers who cease receiving electricity subsidies in April and aims to ensure accurate billing and improve the customer satisfaction. The distribution process, which has received approval from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, includes the 1,500 single-phase meters and the 383 phase meters. The installation will be carried out by the approved vendors from November 18 to November 30, 2024. The Bauchi State Governor Baba Mohammed has called on the federal government to explain why Nigerians cease to directly enjoy the country's oil and gas subsidies as it was before. Mohammed, who insisted that the federal government must be transparent in its distribution of the country's resources, made the statement when the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, paid a courtesy call on him ahead of the 2024 conference for the National Council on Finance and Economic Development Bauchi State is hosting. According to Mohammed, the explanation is necessary because Nigerians have not benefited from the oil and gas resources since the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into power. He emphasized that the federal government must double the effort in oil production and resources distribution to states. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has explained why it could not deliver the much-awaited Port Harcourt Refinery Company. This is coming 2 months after the September completion deadline. NNPC's Chief Corporate Communication Officer, Olufemi Soneye, in an interview said the company encountered risks and challenges while carrying out the rehabilitation. Being the brownfield project, he noted that the company began the commissioning of the critical equipment and processing unit after the mechanical completion in Nigeria. Recall that the mechanical completion of Port Harcourt Refinery Company revamped was successfully achieved several months ago, marking a significant milestone in the project. He, however, stressed that work is being carried out to ensure the project's completion. And to the foreign scene, the significant escalation of the conflict, Ukraine has used the U.S.-supplied long-range missiles to strike a military facility in the Russia's region. This marks the first confirmed use of these weapons since Washington authorized their deployment. The Russian Ministry of Defense stated that the attack occurred at 3:25 a.m. local time and involved the 6 ballistic missiles. While 5 were intercepted by the Russian air defense, the debris from the 6 missiles struck the military site, causing a small fire. The ministry reported no casualties or significant damage. Now, Russian President Putin has signed a decree permitting Moscow to use nuclear weapons against non-nuclear states if they receive support from the nuclear powers. An announcement coincided with the 1,000th day of Russia's military offensive in Ukraine. It follows the recent decision by the United States to allow Kiev to deploy long-range missiles targeting the military sites within Russia. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov clarified that the new policy threats aggression from the non-nuclear states supported by a nuclear power as a joint attack. Meanwhile, the group of 20 world leaders inaugurated a global alliance against hunger and poverty during the opening session of the 19th Heads of State and Government Summit ongoing in Rio de Brazil. The alliance, signed by all members countries, empowers the task force to implement the practical activities between 2025 and 2030 to accelerate the elimination of hunger and reduction of poverty. President Luiz Lula of Brazil said that the alliance, which was pre-launched in July, already had the support of more than 80 countries, in addition to dozens of government and civil society organizations across the world. Our Paraguayan President Santiago Pena was hospitalized after falling ill while attending the G20 summit in Rio in Brazil. The authorities made this known in a statement. According to the statement, the president was treated at the Samaritano hospitals in Rio till today in this position. 46-year-old Pena was taken to the hospital in Botafogo, neighboring for treatment after experiencing what officials described as a malaise in the afternoon. More on the foreign news. Canada has increased the permissible work hours for eligible international students during academic terms from 20 to 24 hours per week. Canada's Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Minister Mark Miller stressed the intent behind this policy change, saying the change will give students more flexibility to manage their time and gain practical experience while maintaining their focus on academics. The addition builds on remarks Miller made in October 2022 when he emphasized the importance of work experience for international students. At the Sport News tonight, acting chairman of the Senate Committee on Sport, Senator Ned Nwoko, has rewarded the semi-finalists at the just concluded 10th Senate President Under-18 Boys Football Competition with 10 million naira. And the finals played on November 17 at the Old Parade Ground Sport Complex 010 Abuja. Greatness, a sporting club of Ibadan State, edged the Carter Academy of Borno State 7-6 on penalties. And after a goalless draw in the regulation time to emerge champions. Meanwhile, Kebbi State selected came third after defeating Tanko Baba Academy of Nasarawa State 5-4 on penalties after a 2-2 draw in the regulation time. And about on the Sport News, Super Eagles forward Ademola Lookman and the goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali have been both named in the final 5-man shortlist for the CAF Player and the Keeper of the Year's awards, but defender William Truzika missed out on the final list. 2 weeks after the release in the initial long list, the CAF has officially unveiled the top 5 nominees in each of the men's categories of the upcoming CAF Awards 2024 that are set to take place in Marrakesh by December 16. Atalanta Europe League hero Lookman leads the final shortlist for the Men's Player of the Year awards along with Ivory Coast Simon Adingas of Guinea striker Morocco defender Akraf Hakimi and the South African goalkeeper Rowan Williams. Now, as we wrap up the news prime, let's take a look at our major stories. Members of House of Representatives from the northern part of the country have raised fresh concerns over the 4 tax reform bills currently under consideration in the National Assembly. And in business, the Naira has weakened by 2.31% or 38.12 Naira on Monday at the National Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market to 1,690.37 Naira to a dollar. Head on the foreign scene, in a significant escalation of the conflict, Ukraine has used the U.S.-supplied long-range missiles to strike a military facility in Russia's region. And the sports, Super Eagles forward Ademola Lookman and the goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali have been both named in the final 5-man shortlist for the CAF Player and the Keeper of the Year awards, but defender William Truzika missed out on the final list. That's a package of News Prime coming to you live from the nation's capital. A reminder that we are on DSTV channel 365, StarTimes channel 276, and free to add like and start Cali. Follow us on all social media platform using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on the screen. On behalf of the entire production team, we say a very big thank you for staying with us on News Prime. See you again.